Yo, 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 what is up? What's going on? How's everybody doing, man? Thank y'all for tuning into another D. Elliott Fitness live stream show. It is Friday, yes, sir. July 2026, 2026, July 17th. Good Lord, I screwed that up. Hopefully everybody having a good day. Hopefully you're having a good day at work. If you're almost off work, at work, just got off work, hopefully you had a good day and all that good stuff that goes with it. But if you did have a bad day, we're gonna let Mr. Chow break it down to you.
You're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't die, and as long as you still here, ready to wake up, get out, get some, stay focused, keep learning, keep grinding, don't give up, stay the task, stay the course. Won't be easy, gonna be hard, but it will be worth it in the end. Stay disciplined, make the sacrifice, do what you gotta do, get rid of all the negative energy, screw everybody that don't like you, and if they hate you, then hey, let them hate from a distance, but at least they watching you. And just keep focusing and keep making sure you're gonna make something happen, because at the other end, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Might be in 2 years, might be in 4, might be in 6, might be in 10, but keep pushing. Let's go. Let's go. Where's my, there we go. And with that being said, we are multi-streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and Facebook. Do your boy a favor. If you are on YouTube and you see that thumbs up that pops up on your screen that you see right there, do your boy a favor and hit the like button. Greatly appreciated. Yes, sir. And to contribute to today's show, Cash App and the Venmo is right there. Cash App, Daniel2888, Venmo, Danny-Daniel-00. With that being said, we're going to dive right into today's show. We're going to get into looking at what the Supreme Court Justice has just changed ownership forever is what they say. They said they changed home ownership forever. I thought this was a good one to look up simply because the fact that it is here dealing with something in Tejas to be exact. So we got to see what's going on in Tejas. And this video is from Real Estate Mindset, which I should have put that in my freaking thing. I'm going to have to post that afterwards. I'm going to make sure I put the @ inside of the thing and give them some love. But the Real Estate Mindset is who this is from. I'm going to watch a video. They're going to speak on the Supreme Court Justice and what they did to make home ownership not the same forever for a very long time. We're going to see how this goes. Something you should pay attention to. Because if it happens in one place, it's going to happen in another, and the next, and another, and another. So we're going to see exactly what the Supreme Court done did, if they're looking out for the American people, or if they are basically doing what we've kind of been feeling this whole time. Let's see. What do you think they're doing? Do you think they helping us, or do you think they're doing this right here?
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
I'm going to go with the latter on that one. You know what I mean? I'm going to go with the latter. I'm going to be like, yeah, they giving us the middle finger. That's what I think. I think they're giving us the middle finger for sure. So with that being said, let's look at the decisions that the Supreme Court justices have made, and we're going to start here in Texas to see what's going on with the land or with the real estate or what exactly is happening, and see what they're able to do and see if they changed any laws or anything that has made it a very hard situation for the American people moving into the future, because we know the housing market and real estate and with the plethora of other things is going up in arms and going crazy right now. So we're going to take a look at one of those things and see exactly what the issue is. We're going to have to tackle this from a head-on perspective to get a good understanding to see how this works, because you know, just another thing to, you know, have you worried about. but don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry. You know what I mean? Don't worry. It's good to educate you so you can get some education and you learn and understand exactly what it is going on. Because you probably know about this shit. And I'm going to be the one to tell you and educate you. And hopefully you'll be informed and understand. And if you do understand and you do learn, then you know to be ahead of it, to be on top of it, so you don't become a victim of it. Because nobody wants to be a victim. Nobody wants to be a victim. No. No victim. We no victim over here. We no victim. We no victim here. We no victims. We are proactive. We are not reactive. We are not victims. Okay? We are the chosen ones. We are not victims over here. So with that being said, shout out to the Real Estate Mindset on YouTube. We're going to watch the video, react to it. So let's take a look at this and let's get this thing cracking. Here we go.
What is the assessed value? I think a good place to start is the assessed value of $55,600 and $54,000. 53,000 folks? 40,000? 30,000? Nice little lot. 20? I had 10. 5? $5,000 I have.
The Supreme Court has recently
They started at 50,000 and went down to bid on some land all the way down to 5,000. Whoo-wee, that's brutal. But let's see what he says here. He's about to say it. The Supreme Court has just did what? Let's hear what he says. Let me track back for a minute and we're gonna listen to him from the very top.
$5,000 I have.
The Supreme Court has recently ruled that fair market value no longer matters if you're a homeowner, and essentially that the municipality could sell your home for whatever it wants to in order to collect your property taxes. This is a massive ruling that has just come out about a week ago, and it impacts every single homeowner and their perceived equity. Now, after that segment, and we do a deep dive on what happened with the Supreme Court, we're also going to pull up a map and data, and we're going to show you just how bad this problem really is, as millions and millions of people around America are currently behind on their property taxes. And then we're going to hone in on San Antonio, that has a property tax delinquency rate of 15%. And then we're going to talk about some of the reasons why, like bond ISD debt and software fraud. But let's start by talking about what exactly happened. Now, as always, you guys can get access to this 24-page full report on my Substack. I'm only going to go over 4 pages. This is what happened, you guys, and this is absolutely astonishing because these people didn't have a mortgage on their property. A Michigan county seized the family's home over a disputed $2,241 tax bill it could never even substantiate. And then they auctioned a $195,000 house for $76,000, about $120,000 under market value. And then they watched the buyer that purchased it for that $76,000 immediately, guys, immediately sell it for $195,000.
Think safe.
Okay, that's brutal. Jesus. Somebody's house got taken away for property taxes that was a little bit over $2,200. So then they end up selling the home for $76,000, and then the seller turns around and then just sells the home for what the price is actually, what the house is actually worth. So Jesus. So then they just transferred ownership of the home with them still living in it potentially. So then they now no longer own the home, but they weren't paying a mortgage. They just had to pay their property taxes. So they just got screwed out of all those years of hard work over property taxes. That was only $2,200 which could have been handled. Let me see real quick. Let me look up one thing. It said there was something that they said in particular. It says a tax bill, it could never substantiate. And let's see, what did they mean by substantiate? What does that mean exactly? Is there a particular way that they meant? Let's see. What do they mean by substantiate as far as that goes? Yes, serving, we get that. I understand what it means, but what does it mean? Substantiate, tax meaning, because words do have different words. Let's see. Substantiate refers to a process of providing evidence to support. Substantiate is okay. This is what I thought. So it says substantiate is basically it refers to the process of providing evidence to support tax claims. So the tax law substantiation is a legal requirement to provide documented proof, such as receipts, invoice, and laws to verify the legitimacy of expenses, deductions, or credits claimed on a tax return. So they're saying that a tax bill that could never substantiate, so they can never provide or prove evidence of the tax bill. I mean, but it's property taxes. However, to lose your home for $2,200, I wonder how long. Was it 1 year? That's the question. Was it just 1 year? I want to know that they not pay it and a year went by and then they did this. I'm kind of confused. So we got to keep going down a little bit more and see exactly what's going on. But for them to buy the home for $76,000 and then flip it for the actual price of the home, which was $194,400, and they just got it and immediately flipped it. So they just doubled or 2.5 their money that quick, which is crazy work. Just crazy work. But let's go ahead and continue this video. Here we go. We need some sound, don't we? Here we go.
Probably like, well, what about the Fifth Amendment? $195,000. You're probably like, well, what about the Fifth Amendment? Due compensation. We're going to talk about that. But on June 23rd, 2026, all 9 judges agreed the family was owed nothing more. What the ruling means for the equity locked inside every home in America. Now, here's a snapshot, you guys, of exactly what happened. Now, this was obviously in Isabel County, Michigan. This is a foreclosure auction that took place in 2015, and it took 11 years for the Supreme Court to rule and get this wrong. After
So this is 2015. 2015 they did this. This is old news. But this in the Supreme Court ruled on it. Huh. This is an old situation. But let's see how this goes.
For 11 years. So for the Supreme Court to rule and get this wrong after 11 years. So we can pretty much assume that the Supreme Court is a complete waste of time. But here's the chart right here, you guys. And the law that passed in 2023, a lot of people thought that that law in 2023 that passed, which we will go over, protected your home equity. But the problem is it never mentioned anything about fair market value. So here's the disputed tax debt. You guys see $2,241. The auction price in 2015 was $76,000. Now the homeowners did get the surplus. So this isn't about the surplus because they got it. They got the $73,766. The problem is they sold it for $76,000 when the assessed value in black was $194,400. The county themselves said to this homeowner, your property is worth $194,000. And then the open market confirmed it when the buyer immediately sold the home for $195,000. And here's the 2 cases side by side. Now, the first case was Tyler.
Okay, so before we go any further, so he's saying that the surplus returned. So to my understanding, to my knowledge, the surplus returned. They got $73,000 back from the home sale. Let me just double check my math real quick. Because if they got $73,000 back, let's see, 195 minus 73, that would put you at 122. 122 minus 76. So you made a $46,000 profit if that's the case. So they got $73,000 back, but the assessed value of the home was practically 195, and they got 73 out of that. And these people they ended up keeping 122 with a $46,000 profit on top of that. That's crazy work. But let's see what he says. Let's keep going. That's crazy work if that's the case. But like I always say, like we're in World War III right now, but this is the economic version of World War III. Everybody looking for guns and bombs. I'm like, nah, bro. This is the economic. This is jobs. This is taxes. This is legality and politics and fraud. This is fraud and economics and all this. This is a different World War that nobody's ready for and don't understand that they're technically in. But yeah, let's see how this pans out. Let's see how this works.
And here's the 2 cases side by side. Now, the first case was Tyler versus Hennepin County, and this took place in 2023. A lot of people remember this. And here's what happened in that situation. Essentially, a homeowner had a debt. Their home was worth $93,000, but the property tax debt with penalties was about $15,000. The sales price, even though the home was worth $93,000, and this is the issue, they still only sold it for $40,000. But the issue at hand in that case, and what they ruled on, was the county returned none of the overage to the previous owner. The county kept all of that money. And so when they ruled in 2023, they essentially said, you cannot keep the overage, but they never mentioned fair market value. And you guys can see here by them ruling in the 2026 case this way, they are now allowing a block of people to determine how much your house is worth. What 9 justices agreed to? So the first justice, Samuel Alito,
So they're saying that you're not allowed to keep. So the home value is 93. Debt with penalties is 15. The sales price for the auction was 40. Return to earner is 0. County kept it all. That was Tyler versus Hennepin, if I said that correctly, in 2023. Punk versus Isabel County. This is 2026. Home value was 184. Return to owner was 73,000, 38% of the home. So who gets to make that decision? Let me see. I think he said who makes that decision, but let's see.
County kept all of that money. And so when they ruled in 2023, they essentially said you cannot keep the overage, but they never mentioned fair market value. And you guys can see here by them ruling in the 2026 case this way, they are now allowing a block of people to determine how much your house is worth. What 9 justices agreed to? So the first justice, Samuel Alito, writing for a unanimous court, he framed the question plainly. Is the constitutional baseline for just compensation the actual tax sales price or the price the property would fetch in a hypothetical open market transaction? The problem here is an auction isn't an open market transaction. It's an auction that very few people know about. The court's answer rested almost entirely on history. For hundreds of years, English and American law allowed governments to seize and sell property to collect taxes on the condition that they return the overage to the debtor, what the old cases call the overplus. From that history, the court drew a rule of striking simplicity. The owner is entitled to the surplus sales proceeds, nothing less and nothing more. And that was the problem. The baseline, he wrote, is the sales price, not hypothetical fair market value. But that's how we're paying our taxes, you guys. We're paying our property taxes based on what they call fair market value, but it's what I call overassessment fraud. But this goes on, at least when the sale is fairly conducted in light of our country's history of tax sales.
Do not get a concern.
Okay, well, crap. Where'd this thing go? Let me see. Oh, AC Slater's in the building. How you doing? How you doing? So basically, they catching people slipping on their property taxes. And I can't what I'm trying to see is that exactly who does the surplus go to? Do they get a surplus? But the surplus is like not even an accurate amount. To get 30% of your home value. The first one in 2023, the city kept all of it. Or the county kept all of it. The second one, somehow the owner got 38% of the surplus. Or excuse me, 38% of the assessed value of the home. And it went back to the owner. But still, is that what he bought the home for versus to what the assessed value is now? But then on the first one, there was no surplus given whatsoever. So then who does the surplus, what determines the surplus? And does it have to be given, or is it like left up to the person who buys the home off from underneath you because of the taxes that were not paid or that is owed? See, that's the thing. So we got to figure that part out. We got to see exactly what's going on. I'm trying to figure that part out. So let's keep going.
The court leaned on a bankruptcy precedent, BFP versus Resolution Trust Corp., which held that a properly conducted foreclosure sale establishes value for fraudulent transfer purposes. And the practical argument that carried the day, if governments owed homeowners the difference between auction value and market value, tax sales would frequently net government a loss. And why is that a bad thing? If you're going to take the property of your citizens, you should not make money. You should take it very seriously. And what gives you that right to begin with? Because citizens own you, government. But this goes on, payable to the delinquent taxpayer themselves. And the whole machinery of tax collection would become, in the court's words, impractical. I like that. I think it's impractical right now. The court then closed the back door too. The family had argued that forfeiting more than $190,000 of equity to satisfy a $2,200 debt was an excessive fine under the Eighth Amendment.
And that's true. That is extremely true. Forfeiting $190,000 of equity. So all that equity that they built up over them years of paying the house off, because remember, they didn't have a mortgage, and all they ended up getting was $73,000 out of it over a $2,200 debt. That's not right. No, that's not right. Especially, I mean, how long were they out of a debt? And was that 1 year of property taxes, or was that multiple year property taxes? That's the thing. It seems like it was just 1 year property taxes, what it sounds like. It sounds like it was 1 year, 2,200 property taxes that they didn't pay. And then now somebody goes in, buys a home for 76, turns around, surplus back to the owner 73,000, and then sells it for 195. That's crazy. That's crazy work. And the question is, it's not a person that sold the home, if I'm not mistaken. Where are we at? 715. It's not a person that sold the home. It is, where are we at? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, come on. Right here. It's the county. It's the county that you're up against. The county is who you're dealing with right here. Pung versus Isabel County. So it's Isabella County. This is the county you're up against. You're fighting against the county. They're not, but the thing is, we don't know how many years of property taxes is withheld. That's the question. It seems like 2,200, but dang, in 2026, $2,200 property tax? Well, I guess in Isabella County, I guess it makes a difference where you're at. But still, the county is trying to get the property off of you, and they said the county flipped the home. The county is an arm of the government who flipped the home from underneath you. I see where this is going. Okay. I get this. So you're fighting with the government who has all the information to take the home and flip it from underneath you, and then turn around and flip it and give you, or not, in this case, didn't give you back jack. In this case, only gave you back 30% of the home. And then they auctioned it off. But the auction doesn't seem like it's very open. Which there are private auctions, but still, there's got to be some kind of heads up warning or something. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Here we go.
The justices rejected that as well, reasoning that a fairly conducted tax sale is not punitive. But again, I'm saying it wasn't fairly conducted because it wasn't sold in the open market. But this goes on, and that importing a fair market value roll through the Eighth Amendment would carry the same drastic consequences as importing it through the Fifth. So what they're saying is, guys, is there's too much fraud. They can't protect us, and they can't use the Constitution because there's just too much fraud. Neither the Fifth or Eighth Amendment requires the government to compensate former owners based on the hypothetical fair market value of the property. But in this case, was it hypothetical if the person that purchased it for $76,000 immediately sold it for $195,000? I wouldn't call that hypothetical. I would call that a comp, a comparable sale that's used to determine value. What this means for the American homeowner, start with the debts themselves, because their size is the scandal inside the scandal. The Pung foreclosure began with only $2,200, which is about 1.2% of the total home's value, a sum the county never proved was owed at all.
Wow. They never proved that it was owed at all. They never proved it was owed. The county went in and pulled this move, and it was never owed at all. And the county is the one that turned around and bought the home and then flipped it to, I'm assuming, somebody private. That's crazy. That's crazy work. They never proved that he owned it at all. And this is all over a $2,200 property tax bill. And we don't know how far back behind, I don't know how far back behind he was on it. But I mean, if you're behind on the property tax, you're behind on the property tax. But still, $2,200, that's crazy work. He pissed somebody off. Somebody wanted to screw him over and they got him. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully I'm wrong. But Pung had to piss somebody off or something. Somebody made a move, or I don't know. Or maybe it was just a situation that the courts needed a situation in order to rule on something to have it under case law to use in the future. I mean, just a thought.
The Taylor's original debt was $2,311 before penalties quadrupled it, and that was a 2023 case. In Minnesota, PLF found the average forfeited home carried a tax debt equal to only 8% of its value. And I say only because if it's paid off free and clear. In Illinois, most seized homes were taken over debts smaller than a used sedan. The government is finding loopholes. If you don't pay your property taxes like a pack of wolves, they're going in and they're stealing their citizens' homes. The system's leverage is total. A 4-figure dispute with an assessor can put a 6-figure asset on the auction block. And after June 23rd, 2026, the Constitution guarantees you only what the block decides to pay.
Wow. The Constitution guarantees you only what the block decides to pay. Now, the question is this. Why? I thought I turned this damn thing down. There it is. So, okay, so here's the question. Again, when you have this go on, right? My question is this. Most of these homes were taken over depths smaller than a used sedan. So so the leverage is total. A 4-figure dispute with an assessor can put a 6-figure, or maybe 7, asset on the auction block. And then you're guaranteed that you only get what the Constitution guarantees you only what the block decides to pay you. So the auction block can make a decision on how much they want to pay you back. That's up to their discretion. And the auction block in this frame is the county arm of the government. And then who are they selling the home to is the other question. Private investors, foreign investors. Like who? This is crazy work. Ooh, this is crazy work.
I say, let me decide what you're going to come up with a tax value for my home. Mitch, reading that got me sick to my stomach because it's another hit to mom and pop. It's another hit to the American homeowner. Can you explain how the justices got that whole situation wrong and how they should have paid attention more to the Constitution?
As you can see,
Oh, I'll tell you. That ain't rocket science, homie. I mean, I don't know why you need somebody to answer that for you. Somebody greased their palms. And what they did, they was like, hey, look here. I'm going to pay you this much money. I need you to do this, that, and this. We need to make some case laws that's going to go ahead and, make further rulings on how we going to get these houses from these some bitches, okay? This is what we going to do. So I'm going to need you to, as soon as somebody get behind their property taxes, we going to go right in. We going to auction that shit off. Don't even worry about going to court, nothing like that. They ain't gonna have enough money to fight us in court as is. We can choose on how much we want to give them back as far as the surplus go. And then we're gonna sell it over here to one of our homies over here who got bread, who can just buy it off right off for your cash money, whatever. 200,000 ain't nothing. 300,000, 400,000 ain't nothing to buy the house off. You make a quick, $50,000, $40,000. I got me a new asset. You know what I mean? Somebody's paying the government to make this. That's how I look at it. I mean, somebody greasing the palms of somebody in the assessors or somebody who works for these certain companies to drive this, to make this happen, to get the homes from said people. That's what I think. That's how I look at this. To me, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, because at this point, I mean, nothing is impossible. I mean, if Ilhan Omar can come in with Tim Waltz and Jacob Frey, if she can come in here and get a net worth of $30 million in the course of like 2 years, and not prove anything. Say she got a vineyard or some shit like that, and then marry her brother and find loopholes and do all this stuff, and nothing happens to her, bro. Ain't nothing possible, bro. Let the fraud begin. You know what I'm saying? So I see where they're coming from. And the person that you're fighting on this, you're fighting the government, or at least an arm of the government, which is the county. And the county has probably some kind of foreign investor or private investor with like Elon Musk money or some kind of Saudi money or something like that. Just, I'm not saying it's those people, but I'm saying they got long bread, so where they can just go in and just buy the thing real quick and stick it on it and just, you know, put it underneath their holding company or something and be good to go and be chilling. You know what I mean? Playing a brutal game of Monopoly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is crazy work. This is crazy work right here, bro. I want to see what he got to say about old San Antonio, Texas. I want to see that part. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but like I say, man, we're at an economic war. This is where we're at. We're at an economic war for sure. This is all economics. This is all economics, and this ain't gonna do nothing but get worse and worse and worse and worse all the way to like 2032 and beyond. You know what I mean? I just don't see it getting any better. Whoever the next president is in 2028, man, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be brutal. People say it's brutal now. I'm like, I don't think you've seen shit yet. This next president, whoever it is, male or female, if it's a female, it's a wrap. If it's a woman, it's a wrap. We've been going to catastrophe. It's gonna be brutal, bro. But as you can see here, though, the arm of an arm of the government, the county in this case, is literally like not providing or proving anything within the case that they're able to auction off a property over $2,200 and then turn around and sell the home for $195. Find the value of the home. Somebody cut them a clean check for $195, and then it's up to the auction's discretion, the auction block's discretion on how much they want to pay you back the surplus. Like, bruh, like, who's greasing the assessor's palms? Who's greasing the auction block people's palms to make this happen, to screw over the homeowner out of an asset? That's how I look at it. And I mean, it makes perfect sense when you look at it that way. At the end of the day, it makes perfect sense when you look at it that way. Just think like a criminal. And then using the Constitution to their advantage or not. I could be wrong if I say to their advantage, but whatever the case may be, is we just saw what happened though. That's brutal, man. So that's why you got to just stay focused, man, and find different ways to. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And it's more than, you know, there's more and there's more assets to be had. But I mean, your home is like your most prized possession. It's one of your most prized possessions to own your home. And then they didn't have a mortgage. So all they had was property taxes, bruh. That's brutal to come down. Now, I just don't know how long they were behind their property taxes. That's the question. And that shit happened in 2015. They just ruled on it in 2026. So they dug up an old freaking case, and 11 years later came to a decision and was like, okay, now we can do this shit moving forward. We got the case law to prove it. So they're creating case laws in this situation in a fucked up scenario to do more fucked up things in the future, so they can go back and use the fucked up case law to screw people up. Man, hopefully I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope what I'm saying is not true. I hope I'm 100% wrong, but I don't know, bruh. It makes sense to me if you look at it from a criminal fraud aspect. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's see what's going on and how bad San Antonio is. Here we go. God dang it. I keep playing. Here we go.
The same way that there are millions of people that are at risk of losing their home, the same way that the punks lost their home. Now, first of all, let me source my data. I'm using Property Radar, and what we're looking at on your screen is essentially, well, first of all, we're looking at San Antonio, but the data on the top is nationwide data on all of the properties. And you guys see I highlighted on the upper left that are essentially residential properties. So I've removed commercial or anything over 5 units. So you're looking at pretty much pure residential. And the first thing that I want you guys to notice is on the upper right, you see above my head, there's a roughly 135.7 million residential properties around the US. That's a lot of tax money, by the way. Now, as far as the tax delinquency, As of right now, according to this data, which all data providers are flawed, there's 3.74 million residential homeowners right now that are currently delinquent on their taxes.
3.74 million people. Is it Americans or San Antonio? I think it's Americans. I don't think San Antonio got that many people in it. Still, 3.7 million Americans that are delinquent on their taxes right now. And then you got people coming in, pulling this move on people that are delinquent on their taxes, taking their homes from them, and then selling the shit off over 4 figures on a 6-figure, 7-figure home, and you lose your home over 4 figures, and you paid all those years, 20, 30, 40 years on a mortgage, and you pay it off retired. All you got to do, all you have is a property tax with no more. Boy, whoo-wee.
And that equals 2.7% of all properties across the nation. But let's now go hyper local, because we got a real big problem here in Texas. And I'm going to show you that problem when we're done with this segment. But in San Antonio, you guys see I highlighted San Antonio on the upper left, and then to the left of that, we're doing the same search, residential property. So our baseline amount of properties in San Antonio is 615,883 residential properties. Now, this next part is really, really important for you all to understand. Of that amount of properties, there are 95,000.
Whoa, what's that?
God dang it, there are 95,000 what? Old San Antonio. So it looks, I don't know what the blue represents. I'm kind of curious on if the blue is representing that many people that are behind on taxes. I'm trying to find this legend, but I don't see a legend nowhere over here. I'm looking at this thing right now, but I don't see a legend that's telling us what the blue, what the yellow, what the green, what the red means. I don't see a legend. He don't have one nowhere here, but I guess he'll break it down to us here in a minute. So let's see. Let's see what he says. I'm trying to find a legend. Let's see. Owner occupied, non-owner occupied, pre-foreclosure, auctions, bank owned, vacant, tax delinquent, 95,000. Pre-probate 3,500, probate 365, bankruptcy 104, divorce 248, owner liens, property liens, expired list. Okay, he's got everything up there. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
Properties, there are 95,000 that are currently, in just San Antonio, guys, that are currently delinquent on their property taxes. When we divide that number into the 600,000, that's a property tax delinquency rate for every single residential property of 15%. There is a massive, massive problem, obviously, in Texas, especially San Antonio, and these homeowners are not going to get help judicially, because what we continue to see is these judges and attorneys acting like absolute tyrants. But let's see what happens when we dig even further. And this is what really, really upsets me. So I put another filter on. You guys see here on the upper left, estimated equity 100%. So that's the filter I put on there, which means there's 62,000 of those 95,000 tax delinquencies that have their homes paid off free and clear.
Oh no, those are the ones you gotta go after first. You're gonna grab them first. To me, that makes sense to go after them first. You're gonna hit them up first. Their homes are paid off free and clear. Number one, reason why, they're probably older. That's the first and foremost reason. Number one, this is just me thinking like a tyrant, like a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like going there and just about to just fuck some people over. Okay. Like, you know, my Mr. Burns, you know what I mean? Like, excellent. You know what I mean? Think of it like this. You're going to go after them because they're older. Number one. Number two, their house is paid off. So, which means that they're in retirement. They probably ain't got no money to be fighting for a lawyer. And if they do, the last thing they want to do is be dealing with stress, health-wise, fighting for a lawyer. And they're home. The thing that they go to bed to at night is the thing that you're taking from them. So you got older, can't deal with a lot of stress. If they do got money, they don't want to spend the money on lawyer and fees and stuff like that. Like those are the easy picking ones to grab first. And those homes are probably going to be probably well taken care of if you paid, if the mortgage is paid off, you know, and you just got property taxes and you fell behind a little bit. Those probably might be the better well-off homes as well, to be that, to, because you're dealing with somebody who clearly is responsible, or home passed down, family lineage type stuff. Let's keep going.
That means 66% of total delinquent houses have no mortgage. Again, 66% of the total delinquencies have no mortgage. Now, for the entire San Antonio area, there's a total of, and you guys see it highlighted on above my head, 473 total residential properties that are paid off free and clear. I bring that up because the delinquency rate on paid off free and clear houses is 23%. These people need our help. Now, before giving it back to Mitch, I'm going to show you guys 2 reasons for the out of control overvaluation fraud in Texas, which you guys see on your screen here, and what's before giving it back to Mitch.
So 271,000 people own their homes free and clear. 62,000 of those people are tax delinquent on their taxes, but they're completely paid off. And then we just seen that people can go in and auction away their home over a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 tax bill, property tax bill. And then when they sell it off, the surplus amount is up to the auctioneers, the auction block's discretion or decision on if they want to pay any of that money back to the home, to the previous owner that they just sold the house from. So then my question is, who are they selling these homes to? If they're doing this, who are they selling these homes to? Are these just regular people? Or are these private people? Are these foreign investors? Who is buying these homes off of these auctions? Like, who's cashing out on these homes off of these auctions? Oh, this is a form of warfare, bruh. This is warfare. This is like, it's like cheating on Monopoly. You know what I mean? You turning the board over and you fighting over this shit. Like, who is buying these homes? Who is getting first dibs on these? Because the assessor is getting their palms greased. The auctioneer is getting their palms greased. This is like a whole setup organization to gain assets from people. But to me, it's just like a war tactic, just a different way. It's an economic war tactic. It's not a physical. This is crazy.
These people need our help. Now, before giving it back to Mitch, I'm going to show you guys 2 reasons for the out of control overvaluation fraud in Texas, which you guys see on your screen here, and what's highlighted. This is an active listing that's on the active market right now. You guys see to the right that the list price is $247,500. I want you guys to remember that number. $247,500. Now, this home has been on the market for 107 days, meaning they can't sell this home, not even for $247,000.
All right, so right here, list price 247.5, DOM days on market 107. Original price of the home was 305. So I'm assuming the original price from what they listed it at was 305, or what they bought it at was 305. I'm not sure. I'm going to assume that the original price from what they started from was 305 and they went down. They've been bringing the price down, trying to sell it from 107 days on market, or maybe they bought it at $305,000. I'm not sure. But I mean, it's a nice home. Damn near 2,800 square feet. What is it? Is it a 2-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms? It's a nice home built in 1972. So, you know, watch out for asbestos. But this is a good home. I don't know what the date is on this. If he has a date on here, I can't see it. That's what I'm looking for a date. But I'm trying to figure out if the original price is what they started at and went down to, or if 305 is what they bought it at. But I highly doubt the original price is 305 of what they bought it at. I doubt it, but I could be wrong. But let's figure it out.
But look at how much the county is taxing them for. Are they taxing them for $247,000? Heck no, they're not. They're taxing them for $326,000. You guys, that's $79,000 overassessed. They're overassessed by 31%.
They're taxing them on $326,000. What? They're being taxed, being overtaxed. Bruh. They're being overtaxed on their home for this value. But we go back and look, it's listed for $247. The original price is $305, but they're being taxed on $326,500. Golly. That's crazy. Total tax amount would be $7,700. So that's crazy work. That's crazy work. Man. So then you come in, you're behind, you're delinquent on your taxes now. So then they come in and you lose your home over this amount right here. But you're overtaxed though, on not the actual amount of your home, or what you have it listed for, and what the original price is. This is a war tactic, bro. This is an economic war tactic. I'm telling you, this is an economic war tactic. You can't fight the U.S. head up, then, motherfucker like Ilhan Omar and anybody else who hates America can use this tactic to destroy it from the inside. This is no different than shooting at American people. This is just a different way of shooting and killing American people. It's the same concept. You just come into the country, play some political games, win some, some seats in the Congress and the Senate and the city council and the city hall and school board directors and all that stuff. You stack your money up, and then you go in and you tactfully destroy American people from within using tactics like this. That's what I would do. It makes perfect sense. If I hated this country with a passion and I came over here and I wanted to fuck shit up, and I know I can't come in here with guns a-blazing, that ain't gonna work out too well, So it's like, all right, well, we got to think of God dang it, let's fruit fly. We got to think of a long, drawn out plan on how to do this. That's what I would do. Find somebody like Tim Walz in whatever city or state I choose to be in, work my way up the chain, get up there, have a couple of my people backing me, whatever the case may be, getting some nice political positions in chair, find out how to, do some insider trading, find out some money laundering schemes, find out how to do some fraud, get my money up, make a few million, and bam, I'm about to play Monopoly and screw these people over because I hate them. Think. It's a simple war tactic. It makes a lot of sense to do. I don't agree with it, like I'm saying, but just imagine if you're somebody who is of a different, culture, religion, or who hates America, which we've seen a lot of them lately, like in the Islamic terrorist regimes, or any other regimes that not just them, but other ones, you know what I mean? The who-ish and stuff like that, who don't like certain people. Like, hey, this is a perfect war tactic. Or people who want to sell out America, to screw over America, who, hate capitalism or whatever the case may be. It don't matter. But this is a perfect war tactic to destroy a country from within. It's a perfect war tactic because you don't see it coming. How many people are going to sit here and look at this? Like, how many people are going to sit here and watch this? And then when they watch it, how many people understand it? Then if they do understand it, how many people can afford to be in this position? Because we already got the divide between the ages, you know what I mean? Like you got Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, boomers and stuff like that, there's already a divide between those. You know what I mean? Because of how expensive the economy is versus, you know, the mindset of a Gen Z and a millennial versus the mindset of a boomer and a Gen Xer. Like there's different mindsets going on because, you know, they kind of don't really see the world as the same because of the age and everything that changes. So technology and all this stuff changes everything. So it's just a whole different, nobody's on one accord. So it's easy to come in here and just pull, you know, snatch these homes from these people and then use people in these positions, grease their palms up, snag these houses from them from an auction and cash out. It's a perfect war tactic, bruh. It's a phenomenal war tactic. It sucks to know that it can be used as a war tactic, but this is an economic war tactic. You got chemical warfare, you got economical warfare, you got, I don't know what you call weapon warfare, whatever you want to call it, physical warfare, however you want to call it. It's different types of warfare. And this right here, bro, this is what this is. Let's keep going. Almost finished. Where'd he go? Here we go.
$326,000, you guys. That's $79,000 overassessed. They're overassessed by 31%. These homeowners are forced to sell because they can't even afford their property taxes because they're being charged on an imaginary $79,000. And if your home ever gets taken, that imaginary $326,000 assessment value you see right there could be $40,000. Now, the second reason for these problems, especially here in Texas and
Wait. What did he just say?
taxes, because they're being charged on an imaginary $79,000. And if your home ever gets taken, that imaginary $326,000 assessment value you see right there could be $40,000. Now, the second reason for these problems, especially here
Somebody could come in and buy your home for $40,000 funky ass dollars. And then turn around and sell it for what the market says, 200, 250, 300. And then backdoor and give you absolutely Nathan. Oh my goodness, bro. That is brutal. That is brutal. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Texas, and I'll let Mitch go off, okay? But I need you guys to understand ISD bonds. Typically, schools have the debt and the budget of anywhere from 5 to 10 times more than the actual city. So the amount of fraud that is allowed to happen behind the door is overwhelming, and the accountability also overwhelming. This is what your property taxes go towards right on your screen. And I wanted to point out the trajectory. This is for Salina ISD. They're currently in $1.2 billion in debt. And I also want you to know that that $1.2 billion, it doesn't go towards safety. It doesn't go towards raises in curriculum. It goes towards infrastructure and football stadiums. And the other thing you should know is that debt you guys see there, it's never, ever going to be paid off. It's only going to skyrocket or hopefully a debt jubilee. So Mitch, maybe you could respond on what we just went over, and maybe you can respond on how our higher up government, like our governor, is partially, actually entirely responsible for what the viewers see on their screen, as he's the president of the Bond Review Board. Mitch, will you just light him up, man?
I find it annoying and interesting, and it will be an exhibit in our proof that we have a chart from then Attorney General, Governor, who's now the governor, Abbott, in 2001, stating that these are the bonds, they're going to go up, but in 24 years, they're going to be paid off. You see that chart that's sitting right in front of you? That's what Abbott's chart looked like. The problem is, when it starts going down, it never happened. He lied to the public. There's no other way to say it. Was he ignorant about what he was speaking? I don't know. We haven't deposed him yet. But guess what? He's going to be named. So is Ken Paxton. This is going through the attorneys right now. I hope to get this filed by the end of the week. But I want to point out, why is this so important? Defaulting property owners.
Dang it. Freaking YouTube. Ads. Stop with all these goddamn ads. Yeah. Get premium. I get it. But I got to figure out what he's going to say at the end, because that's really important. I'm trying to get to this. I want to wrap this up and look at some other TikToks.
The property tax fraud The school district bond fraud, the rogue judges, in combination and or individually, is a national security risk. And what's even more frustrating is that it's fixable but for the rogue judges. As I said, the iron cage is built. They cannot deny the facts. They cannot deny the arithmetic. All they can do is try to keep this case out of a courtroom. And eventually they're going to fail. Repeal all property tax in favor of the uniform state sales tax, put all school district bonds into bankruptcy, put all the participating school districts into bankruptcy, and return true property ownership, never again to be taxed. It's rather simple. And the funny thing is, the pipes, the ability to do it, can be flipped and turned on within 10 days via executive order.
Yeah, but nobody wants that to happen. That's just the fact of the matter is. Nobody wants that to happen. And we know that that's just how things work. You know what I mean? Chaos, man. We want order and chaos. I mean, just follow the money. It's really not hard to see. Just follow the money. Everybody want their palms greased. Everybody want to, everybody's going to take the money. Everybody's going to, get paid. I mean, it's the story as old as time. We already know how this works. Everybody getting their palms greased. Everybody getting paid. And, you never know where you're getting paid from. Could you be getting paid from fraud? Could you be getting paid from screwing somebody over? Could you be getting paid from somebody, like a Lord Horos, who could be greasing your palms to make you, to ask you to, make this decision so it could rule in this favor or whatever the case may be. I mean, there's so many, it can be a plethora of political agendas that are trying to fulfill in order to, guide and push things into a certain direction. So doing the right thing is never the choice. It's never the choice. It's follow the money. And which direction are they trying to head towards? And they're heading towards anger, chaos, confusion, frustration, negativity, drama, gossip, all the negative frequencies. And then you put that frequency out into the air. You know what I mean? As a group collective, people ends up putting all that negative energy, all that survival, all that stress, all that worry, all that fear, all that anger, all that hate, all that rage. Collectively, that's what goes into the atmosphere. That's what goes into the air. And then you get that more and more and more. You start to get more worry, more stress, more fear, more anger, more rage, more. It builds up and builds up and builds up. Because you're putting that out there deliberately. The system is doing what it's meant to do. They've been doing this for years, decades, centuries, millenniums. This ain't nothing new. And when it crashes and burns, it's happening in other countries. It's happening in a whole different other civilization of times. And it is what it is. Just got to understand how to navigate. Take care of your health. Take care of your fitness. Fast, pray, meditate. Understand what assets you like to buy. Stay on them. Keep your mouth shut when you obtain them. Do certain, find a way to navigate. There's a way you navigate in this. And just stay positive with whatever you do. Don't be stressed. Don't be worried. Just stay focused. Stay the path. Stay the path, the course that you know that you're supposed to be doing. Don't deviate from it. Just keep pushing. Don't ever get the what's the thing called? The shiny something object. The shiny object syndrome or whatever, where you're going on a straight path. You're focused on what you're doing. You're like, I'm gonna take this path. I'm going, and I don't give a damn what nobody say. Then along the way, somebody walk up to you and they're like, hey, if you do this quick move real quick, you'll make a quick, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 if you make this move. Come on over here and make this move real quick. While you focused, while you were honed in on what you're supposed to be doing, that shiny object syndrome, somebody gonna wave something in front of you to throw you off your pivot. Hey, you can make this quick 20, 30, 40, 60, $100,000 real quick. If you just kind of come over here and do this real fast, then you can go back on your path and use that to fund your path. Don't do it. It's a distraction. Take the long way home. Take the long road. Go the long route. The long route is always the way to go. The shortcut is exactly what that is. It's a short way to get you cut. It is a short way to get you cut. Take the long route and believe in yourself and stay focused. Routine, discipline, structure, mindset, health, all that. Just take it with you and keep pushing forward. Let's take a look at what some people are saying about the Texas real estate disaster. They said the foreclosures are skyrocketing. We're going to listen to what a few people are saying on TikTok, and then we're going to get up out of here. So we got this guy right here. Let's see what he says about it. Here we go.
Absolutely staggering. I mean, there is over 200,000 homes for sale in Texas.
Wow.
If you listen to Realtor.com, they're saying 300,000. But I think the number is closer to 200,000. But that is staggering compared to just last year. And the number keeps growing. And what people aren't talking about is the number of foreclosures in Texas. They're all over the place. Homes are foreclosing so fast in Texas, people have stopped making house payments. There are literally tens of thousands of households throughout Texas that haven't made a house payment in over 6 months. And the banks don't even know what to do. The banks are like, please pay us something. And people are like, no, don't have it. And foreclosures are booming. The real estate market in Texas is a complete disaster, and it's all falling apart. That's just the beginning, folks. We're at the beginning. It's going to get a whole lot worse.
It's gonna get a whole lot worse. Now let's take a look and see if what he said holds any truth. I had looked up something real quick, and I wanted to look and see. And the question I wanted to figure out was Texas home foreclosure numbers from 2025 to 2026. Let's take a look and see if what he says holds any weight. So let's look at this and see. Texas recorded 22,000 foreclosure filings in the first half of 2026, a 19.7 increase over 2025 levels. Currently leads the nation in both foreclosure starts and bank repossessions, while 2025 saw a nationwide total of 367,400 filings. Early 2026 data shows Texas specifically averaging 3,800 active filings per month as of April. Good Lord, 3,800 active filings per month as of April. Texas processes foreclosures in just 155 days, the nation's fastest rate, while inventory growth and price cuts mirror 2011. It's gonna be a rough one. Like you said, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, and we just at the beginning. Like I say, it's gonna be into the 2030s for anything gets better. Then I had to ask one more question. Texas home sales in 2025 versus 2026. And this is what we got. So we'll take a look and see. In 2026, Texas housing market has transitioned into a more balanced buyer's market, characterized by medium home prices that have softened by approximately 0.8% to 2.1% compared to 2025. Inventory levels across the state have surged, reaching a 5-month supply, while Austin specific prices saw a more pronounced decline of roughly 2.4 to 2.7 year over year. A rough decline, so 0.3% decline. Texas home values fell roughly from 1.9%, though sales volume rose 6% as sellers increasingly use price cuts. As we saw, that guy showed us price cuts, so we see it happening. As we just seen, price cuts are happening as well. Now, let's take a look at what this guy was saying. So the first guy was talking about how many foreclosures are going on in Texas, and it happened everywhere, left and right, and constant foreclosures, and how everything is people don't have the money to pay off their homes, everything. So let's take a look at what this guy says. This next guy, he's going to speak. He says Texas foreclosures unveiled. He's going to speak on why it's happening. Empty homes, abandoned lives, and deportation wave reshaping neighborhoods. Okay, let's see what this is. Here we go.
This week, I started doing foreclosures on undocumented properties that the people had to leave in a hurry. I just left one. Pizza boxes, open pizza was still there. All the food was still in the pantry. They grabbed whatever valuables they could, left everything else behind. These are foreclosures, so these are homes that were bought using FHA, guaranteed by the government for undocumented people. Last month, over 252,000 people were deported in Texas alone. So all of a sudden, we're starting to see the effects now. I did another one yesterday. They come tagged as possible undocumented immigrant. Furniture's there, fish tank, dead fish. They left in a hurry. If you want to see that content, I put that content on my wife's page or on my YouTube page.
Okay, so as you can see, the deportations, it's a wave that's reshaping the neighborhoods in Texas right now, and it's going crazy. It's going crazy in some areas, and it's something like a bunch of people probably don't ever think about. A lot of people probably don't ever think about the deportation waves that's reshaping neighborhoods and how many of them that's happening and what it's having the effect on when it comes to the real estate market, at least especially here in Texas. But let's take a look at exactly what that looks like when we see it firsthand. Same dude, but he's going to show an eviction in Mansfield, Texas, in the homes in the area of $700,000 to $800,000. Okay, these are almost $1 million homes. Let's take a look and see what the evictions are looking like. Check this out.
In Mansfield, Texas, in an area where the houses were between $700,000 and $900,000, and let me show you what I just ran into. This is an eviction. This is the constable showed up and just put all of their personal belongings on the street. They knew that he was coming. They were told, they were given a time and a date, and they didn't get their stuff out. Look at that kegerator right there. And now all of their shit's been thrown out. They can't go back in the house. Even their cars are left behind. There's the TV. Yeah, they may have taken what they wanted to take, what they could take, and may have left the rest behind. This is where we're at in the real estate market, in an area with a very strict HOA, and everything is thrown out. They will be billed when the trash company comes and takes all this. I will probably be able to show you the inside of this house coming soon. I'm in
That's crazy work. That's a freaking $800,000, $800,000 home area. And they left both their cars. And they left both their cars on top of that. That's crazy. So whoever it was, they left everything behind. And they couldn't pay it. They just left everything behind. So think about how often this is happening. I see this happens a lot with apartments. How many times I've seen in apartments when you go by the dumpster, how many people's full living room, kitchen, bedroom, you're seeing beds, mattresses, couches, kitchens, pictures. You're seeing a whole apartment be thrown out at the dumpster. And you're like, the hell? And it's frequent. It's frequent. It's not like every once in a while, like, damn, somebody lost their shit. It's like, no, you see this a lot. And then you also carry that over to the housing market, to residential homes up to $700,000-$800,000 and surpassing that even more, plus layoffs from jobs, plus deportation hitting people, plus it's just so many plethora of other things, and there's a lot of things that are hitting as well. And they left their cars behind, so we know the car market is hell right now. Like, looking at all of this happening at one time, but that's crazy to see this go on. And then you have to ask yourself this question: how did they even get that home? How did you get that home and that house? You're able to get an FHA loan through the government. And then you leave everything behind. You don't take nothing with you wherever the hell you went. How were you able to get all that? Cars, home, everything inside of it. Just leave it all behind? I mean, I get it. You lost everything. It's an understandable situation, but like, how? And then especially when the deportation hits and then people drop everything and leave. You drop everything and leave. You don't take nothing with you. Or I guess you take what you can take with you. But then how did you acquire all of this? Like that's like the $1 million question. How is all this acquired? And then the people who are left with the bag are the people that have to live with the reality of the market of how it is. You know, the price that was bought at a home that was bought at a high price, the cars that was bought, all the things that were bought, the spiking and the increasing and the inflationary aspect of everything that went up because of this happening. Who's left to deal with it? All right, so we get this last one. This is an older one. This is from 2024. But listen what he's going to say from back then and then bring it forward to now. Here's the last one. He's going to say, let's check again on homeowners in Austin, Texas, which is where we at. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This will be the last one. This is from 2024. So here we go. Let's hear what he says.
People are struggling to figure out what to do with their house when they're Austin, Texas people are struggling to figure out what to do with their house when their home loses value. Another day with Reddit Real Estate with Austin, this gentleman is struggling to figure out what to do with his property that is finally undervalued. What should I do? My house in Austin, Texas isn't worth what I paid for it. Hey, I get it. If you paid $759,000 and you had a 4.3 interest rate and suddenly it was worth less, I'd be bothered too. But is it? It does look like this individual put in a good amount of research to figure out what his rent rates would be and to figure out whether or not his cost per foot still makes sense. Overall, he feels his market has devalued. His big question is right down here. Should I sell it and take a huge loss? My answer is no, and here's why. I'm not hearing that this person can't afford his house. I think he's just freaked out at the fact that his home is not as well valued. Looking back at the 4 normal recessions that we've ever had, aside from 2008, pretty much none of them showed a major impact to actual value. 2008 was a little unique because it was built on all this fraudulent fake value of homes. Overall, if you hold a home for at least 5 to 8 years, even at the peak of its value, the value ends up matching what you bought it at or exceeding it about 5 to 8 years later. So really, this is an affordability question. If you can still afford this house and you want the value to maintain from now to 5 to 8 years after you've bought it, just hold the house. You don't need to move. If you don't have any real catalyst for moving or a need to save money in your mortgage payment, you should keep your house and the value will catch back up. If you guys have any other questions about real estate and how to handle things and what should I do when the mortgage does this or that?
Yeah, so what he's saying, he holds some weight, but however, it's gonna go on for a while. if the real estate market is going down, but other things are going up, gas is going up and food prices are going up, it's going to be a tough one to sustain out for a while. That's why you got to get out here and grind your ass off and be on a hustle and just like be unapologetic for how you get out here and you doing what you got to do to, make ends meet. Now don't go crazy. Don't be out here committing crimes or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Although you see people committing crimes all day getting with it, people having fake degrees and giving out advice on, the internet, saying that they're a doctorate and a psychologist and a therapist of some sort and all this shit. But get out here, do what you got to do and stay focused. I understand that this is going on, and a million other things are going on. Just don't let it hinder you. Keep your head up, keep grinding, stay focused, find a plan, find a plan, stay disciplined about yours. That's the main thing. Discipline is what's going to conquer and beat everything. If you can stay disciplined and stay focused and stay on your routine and stay on your path, you will outdo this. And if you have an entrepreneurial spirit about you and have a hustle about you, you'll win in the end. You'll win. It may take the next 6 to 8 to 10 years to do it, but when it's all said and done and you actually, go through it, because the time is going to pass regardless. The time is going to pass regardless if you sit on your ass and do nothing or if you grind your ass off. The time is going to pass both ways. Through the ups and downs, smiles and frowns, rains, hurricanes, snowstorms, sleet, stain, snow, loved ones living and passing away, all that stuff going down. You just got to stick to it and stay the course through it all. In the end, it'll work out. It's just up to you on what you're going to do in that time. So with that being said, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show. I got to get up out of here, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another DnL Fitness live stream show. I'm not going to do another one tonight. I might do one tomorrow. Nah, I ain't gonna do one tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens over the weekend. I need to drop a shitload of shorts that I have to drop on y'all. So I got a bunch of shorts got to let go. But with that being said, I got to get up out of here, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll catch y'all either over the weekend or back on Monday. Until then, we'll take care. Love you. Take care and peace.
It's big on, baby, I'm out some meat. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they
bankrupt.